Hey kids, Flexing Teacher Weber here. Hope you're having a good day. We have been studying equations. Now we're going to move on to studying more complex equations like two-step equations where it will take at least 2 steps to solve them. I'd like to start off with a little word problem today. A cow sleeps for 7 hours a day. Ooh, and I like 7 hours of sleep a day. This is 1 hour less than twice the amount an elephant sleeps in a day. Create and solve an equation to show how long an elephant sleeps. Well, what we want to do when solving a word problem with an equation is we want to identify our unknown. And the unknown is usually the question that was asked. And this says create and solve an equation to show how long an elephant sleeps. So we're going to say to identify our unknown, let x equal elephant. So anytime you see elephant in the equation, that's going to mean x. And we're going to try to write an equation that looks like this. Some number multiplied by x plus or minus another number equals another number. So it says a cow sleeps 7 hours a day. Let's write down a 7. This is, very often in algebra, that word is can represent an equal sign. Pardon me. So equals 1 hour less than twice the amount an elephant sleeps. Well, we know that elephant is going to be x. Now, twice the amount an elephant sleeps. Twice means times 2. Times 2x is just 2x. But it's not just twice the amount an elephant sleeps, it's 1 hour less than that. So 1 hour less than 2x would be 2x minus 1. Now, a better way to write that might be 2x minus 1 equals 7. There's a math equation from that word problem. We took the English language and translated it into algebra. 2 times the number of hours an elephant sleeps, subtract 1, will give you the number of hours a cow sleeps, which is 7. Now here's how you solve this kind of equation. You're going to do the opposite of order of operations. You're going to start backwards. You're going to start with the add subtract first. And you're going to try to simplify this equation to show the value of 1x. So we're going to start with the minus 1, and we're going to make that minus 1 turn into 0 by adding 1. And if we do it to that side of the equal sign, we do it to the other side. Let's see what we get. Well, we still have 2x, but minus 1 plus 1 goes away, equals 7 plus 1 is 8. What we're left with now is a multiplication equation. 2 times x equals 8. Well, to solve a multiplication equation, we divide both sides by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1x. 8 divided by 2 is 4, or x equals 4. X is what we wanted to find. X was the amount of hours an elephant sleeps in a day. So we'll write that in a sentence. An elephant sleeps about 4 hours a day. That's just not enough sleep. They need to get more sleep. They're going to be all cranky the next day. An elephant sleeps about 4 hours a day. So our focus today is going to be solving equations in 2 steps. And it's going to be a multiplication step and an add subtract step. Let's do some more questions like that. Let's solve each equation. Number 1, 3x minus 1 equals 8. Well, we're going to do the reverse of order of operations. We're going to do the add subtract first. So I'm going to add 1, add 1. I'm going to be left with 3x Minus 1 plus 1 goes away, equals 9. Now I have 3 multiplied by a number equals 9. To show the value of 1x, I'm going to divide by 3, divide by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1x, and 9 divided by 3 is 3, or x equals 3. It's the same thing we've been doing, except it's combining 2 different kinds of equations into one equation. Let's check it now. If we check it, both sides of the equal sign should balance. 3x minus 1 equals 8. 3, replace the x with 3, times 3 minus 1 equals 8. Follow order of operations. 3 times 3 is 9. Minus 1 equals 8. 8 equals 8. Both sides are correct. It's just a little more complicated, but the good thing is we know how to do all this stuff. Number 2. Negative 2r minus 7 equals negative 11. Well, to begin solving this, start with the add subtract that is beside the variable. We want to make minus 7 turn into 0. Do that by adding 7. And do it to both sides. We're left with negative 2 multiplied by r. This turns into 0. Negative 11 and positive 7, you subtract and you get negative 4. Remember, we want to show the value of positive 1r, so to do that, we have a multiplication equation now. We're going to solve it by dividing both sides by negative 2. Negative 2 divided by negative 2 is positive 1r. Negative 4 divided by negative 2 is positive 2. Or r equals 2. The check. Write down the original equation. You really have to know your integers, right? When you do this, so in Shobi there is that integer summary sheet. Make sure you're using that. Okay, we're going to substitute positive 2 in for r, so that's negative 2 times 2 minus 7 equals negative 11. Follow bedmass, I have to do the multiply first. Negative 2 times 2 is negative 4 minus 7 equals negative 11. And that is true, negative 4 and negative 7 equals negative 11. Both sides balance off. Let's look at some different variations on this. Number 3, negative 8 equals negative 4 plus 2x. Well, it's sort of the same thing every time, except now we've reversed the equation. We've got the positive 2x on the other side of the equal sign. Well, do the reverse of order of operations. Find the variable and start with the add or subtract first. In this case, the way to make the minus 4 go away to turn into 0 is add 4. And if you do it on that side of the equal sign, you have to do it here. Negative 8 and positive 4, you subtract, and you get 4 negatives. Equals. This turns into 0. Positive 2x. Now remember, when we're dealing with integers, positive 2x, we can leave that plus sign there, or it can just go away. So this is negative 4 equals positive 2x. We want to show the value of 1x. So this is multiply by 2. I'm going to do the opposite, which is divide by 2. Divide by 2. Negative 4 divided by 2 is negative 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1x. Or negative 2 equals x. The check. Write down the original equation. Negative 8 equals negative 4 plus 2x. Negative 8 equals negative 4 plus 2 times negative 2. Got to follow order of operations here. Negative 8 equals, I have to do this multiply first. 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. And keep everything in the same spot. I still have a plus and a negative 4 there. I'm going to rewrite that. That's negative 4 plus negative 4. Just going to make that a bit neater. So I still have this negative 4 plus negative 4. And that is true, right? 4 negatives and 4 negatives make 8 negatives. And do that to both sides of the equal sign. And since both sides are the same, we're good. Okay, check out this one. Negative 14 equals 4 minus 3y. Well, I want to get the y by itself. So I look at this side of the equal sign. I have a plus 4 because there's no sign in front of that 4. But I also have a minus multiply 3y. Well, I want to start by making this plus 4 turn into 0, so I will minus 4. And I will minus 4 there. Now on this side of the equal sign, negative 14, negative 4, the signs are the same. I add them and I get negative 18. On this side of the equal sign, I have a plus 4 minus 4 that cancels out, turns into 0. Now look at what I have left here. I don't just have 3y, I have a negative 3y. In integers, whatever sign is in front of the integer belongs to the integer. Negative signs can't just disappear. So that's negative 3y. Or negative 3 multiplied by some number y. I want to show the value of 1y, so I'm going to divide by negative 3. And I'll do it to both sides. Now, negative 18 divided by negative 3 is positive 6. Negative 3 divided by negative 3 is positive 1y. Or just 6 equals y. Now the check. I'll write down the original equation. Negative 14 equals 4 minus 3y. Negative 14 equals 4 minus 3 times 6. Negative 14 equals 4 minus, and I do 3 times 6 is 18. And then I check it out. This is like 4 positives. This is 18 negatives. The signs are different, so I subtract. And I have 14 negatives on both sides of the equal sign. So I'm all good. So there's a good rundown of how you solve two-step equations. Gives you a really good idea there. I'll also add these questions to the notes. This will help you with your assignment today. This is one of those topics in math where I really want you to do it step by step, just like how I'm showing you. There are times where it's great to go on your own and try a bunch of different strategies, but this is one of those ones where you want to sequentially show your steps, all right? I hope that helps with your work today. That's all for now. Flexing Teacher Weber, out.